All right, I'm back. Here I have the RG35xx SP. I just got this in yesterday. Unboxed it and everything. I saved you guys from an unboxing video, but if you want to see the box, there's the box. Everything that came in the box is still in the box. What the thing was wrapped up in: screen protector, book, wipes, back there, USB cable. That's a quickie of the unboxing. There's the box. There's the 35xx SP. All right, so lots of guys are making these videos, giving you their initial impressions. Now, like I said, I just got it yesterday, so I don't have a whole lot of time with it yet, but I will let you know what I think of it so far. This thing is nice. It's real nice. It has the form factor and all the aesthetics of a Game Boy Advance SP. It is roughly a little bit bigger than a Game Boy Advance SP. Unfortunately, I don't have one to compare it to, but as you can see, the form factor and everything is pretty much the same. If you open it up and look there, it's got a nice big screen. Here's your face buttons. You have 4 on this. The original GBA SP only had 2. Your speakers in the same place. This was a brightness button on the original. Your start and selector there, and your D-pad. If we close that up, over on the right hand side, you have your power, and this is a reset button. Up top, you have your shoulder buttons: L1, L2, R1, R2. Here you have a micro. I don't know if it's a micro or a mini HDMI cable, but you can get that. You can hook it up to a monitor. You can Bluetooth the controller to this. You can consoleize it. There's your charger, USB-C. Over on the other side, there's your volume rocker. Down on the bottom, you have 2 SD cards and a headphone jack. So 2 SD cards. You can run dual operating systems. I've seen people do this. So you can have an operating system on this one and then flip them if you want to switch to a different operating system, or you can have your operating system files stored on this one and your ROM stored over here. So it just make it easier to pop this one out. You don't have to pop the whole thing out. Just pop this out, add more ROMs, put it back. So that's how some of the people run theirs, but mine, it's all on one, because with this, I know it's a pretty powerful system, and it will play up to Dreamcast, PSP, DS, N64. But being that I got it in this form factor, the only thing I really plan on playing on it is Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. So I have actually gone through and removed the ROMs to everything else, and all I have is Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, because that's all I really want to play on this. Now, this is maybe the 4th or 5th iteration of this system. I have a couple others. Now, there was the 35xx, and it looked a little like this. Let me move the others out of the way. So the 35xx looks like that. That's a 35xx. This is a 35xx plus. Now, when they put this one out, they added support for all those systems I mentioned earlier, the PSP, DS, N64, Dreamcast. So this one is the plus. So when they put this one out, they added support for all those systems. So that's the 35xx, looks exactly like this, and this is the plus. So as you can see, this is the form factor of the original Game Boy. It's a little smaller, more along the lines of like I don't know if you've ever seen a Miyuu Mini, but a Miyuu Mini is in this form factor. I mean, it's almost exactly like this, but it's a little smaller. Well, actually, the original Miyuu Mini is a lot smaller than this. I have a Miyuu Mini somewhere. Give me a second. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, I have a Miyuu Mini, but I have no idea where the Miyuu Mini is. That means I got too many systems. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Just remembered where I put it. All right. There it is. That's a Miyuu Mini. Miyuu Mini is a little smaller than the 35xx, but the original Miyuu Mini was even smaller than this. So the 35xx is a competitor to the Miyuu Mini. Miyuu Mini came out first. Then they put this out, the Plus, which plays more systems than the original and the Miyuu Mini does. So that is the first and second iteration of that chipset. And then they put out this one. This is the RG35xx. So they made it horizontal style like the original Game Boy Advance, and they threw a couple of analog sticks on there. So this one is probably the best one to play a lot of those systems on because you have analog sticks. So PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, N64, PSP, you know, this one is probably going to be the best one suited for playing those because you have analog sticks. The rest don't. But the rest have some software things where you can make a virtual. You can turn one of the pads into like a mouse or yeah, it's weird. I wouldn't do it, but it's there. So the third one they made using this same chipset is a lot like the one I just showed, but it's more in the form factor of a Game Boy Advanced Micro. No analog sticks on it. It's a lot smaller screen, running the same chipset, so it'll play all the same games. And then they put this one out. And this one, as soon as I saw it, I had to get it. Because I'm a huge fan of the Game Boy Advance SP. So I had to have it. Now, sometimes I will get GBAs and refurbish them. I did one with this same smoky, let's say clear black shell not too long ago. And the shell feels exactly the same on this as it did on that one I redid. This one reminds me a lot of it. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would think this was an actual GBA SP. It doesn't have that little silver badge that says Nintendo right there. But, you know, if I was to go in here and go into a game, let's pull this game up. I don't want anybody to think I'm a pirate, but yo ho ho. All right. So you see the BIOS on there. You see the original Game Boy boot up screen, Game Boy player, all of that. And then you see how they have this overlay here, GBA SP. So, I mean, they're doing a lot of software to make it look authentic. But, you know, basically this is to shrink down the screen real estate here to be the size of the original GBA. So it's not stretched or anything. So that overlay on there just makes it look, you know, makes it look good. I love it. So now a couple of the other ones don't have it, like the first one I showed you, the white one, the RG35xx Plus. That one doesn't have the little overlay like that. I mean, I think you can get an overlay like that, but it doesn't have it stock like this one came with. Let's get out of here. Let's check a Game Boy game, because I think they have overlays for those too. Game Boy Color. And let's go to my boy here. Link's Awakening. Once again, those BIOS, so you're gonna see the original screen, and there it is. Look, Game Boy Color. And then you even got the little overlay, so it looks like the gray around there and the power button. Yeah, this thing is great, man. Phenomenal. All right, so let's get out of there. There you go. Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, DS. Let me see if I can turn that volume, that brightness down. If it'll come back. Yeah, that looks a little better on camera. Okay. All right, we'll get out of this and we'll go to a Game Boy game and see what that one looks like. Here, I have no idea how many Game Boy games there, but let's go to an old classic. Oh my God, they don't have it on here. Wow. No Tetris? Oh my God. These ROMs, I didn't put my Game Boy ROMs on here. These ROMs were preloaded, so that's why. And see, there's no Mario games on here either. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and do something about that, but I'll just throw something on really quick. RoboCop. There you go. There's your overlay, the GBA overlay, and it's even got the green tinge of the old Game Boy games. So man, this thing is sweet. So if you're in the market to grab a retro handheld emulator, this would be, I don't know, I would say if you're a big fan of Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color, I'd go with this one, because like I said, I only have this one and I only plan on playing Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance on this. But I would say if you're looking for something to play more of those systems on, I'd probably go with the other one with the analog sticks on it, because the controls are going to be better for more of what you may want to do on there. Let me go back in here to GBA. Now the only thing so far that I'm having an issue with is I put my save on here from my Metroid game that's on my other RG35xx, and it's not pulling up on here. And it should work, because like I said, the hardware is all the same, but as you can see, there's no save file coming up. So I will have to figure that one out. But as far as everything else goes, man, I don't have any complaints or any issues about this thing. So I mean, the only real complaint that is I've watched tons of videos from other folks that have gotten these things a lot earlier than I did. They're complaining about it may get hot because the battery is right over top of the CPU. But the whole time I've had this on this whole video, and there's no heat coming from this thing. Well, yeah, it's been on, but I haven't been actually playing, but it's been on and it's been running games. So, and there's no heat at all. So I don't know if that would be an issue, but a lot of people were talking about that being an issue, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm only running GBA games. Now, maybe if you're running something like Dreamcast or DS or PSP, maybe it'll heat up then, but with what I'm doing, I don't think it'll be a problem. Also, they complain a little bit about the buttons being too clicky, and I don't really see where that's that big of an issue. But some people, they need something to complain about, so there it is. But overall, I think this thing is phenomenal. Now, I'm sure that another one of the little retro handheld companies is going to come out with another one of these. I've seen a prototype, and it's got like analog sticks down here. I'm sure when that comes out, I'll end up picking one up. But right now, this is probably one of my top 3 handheld emulators systems. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got some useful information out of what I've been sitting here rambling on about. And if you want to pick one of these up, I think you can get them on Amazon, but the price is more jacked up on Amazon than it would be if you actually ordered it from Anbernic. So you can go to Anbernic's website, check it out there. I think they have a store on what is that website? I can't remember the name of it. I apologize, but yeah, just go to Anbernic's website, or like I said, Amazon. So that's it for right now. I may throw up some gameplay footage of this thing running a few GBA games, but I mean, you can see it running Metroid right here, so I may not. But let me know in the comments if you want to see some games running on this thing. Anyway, well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. My name is Phil, and I am old and nerdy.